to Get Celebritized. I'm glad you're here tonight because we have a jam-packed show. It is ladies' night. I have three amazing women that do such fun things that you are not going to want to miss. We've got a social media expert who's also a sportscasting podcaster. She's amazing. We've got a TV show actress, a real actress. I mean, professional. She gets paid to be an actress. And she also has her own TV studio and so much more. And then we have a woman who has dedicated her life to women over 40 because you know what? We're not dead yet. And that's what she's all about. So without any further ado, I'm going to bring on my first powerhouse, who is none other than a beautiful woman I met on Clubhouse. That sometimes is a theme, as you've been hearing, because I'm meeting the coolest people on Clubhouse. And if you all are not on an audio app, whether it's Clubhouse or Twitter Spaces or Facebook Rooms, whatever, you're missing the opportunity to let your voice shine and let people hear you and your stories and your expertise. But we'll save that for another show. So right now, I'm going to bring up Katie Brinkley. She teaches entrepreneurs marketing and social media strategies to build their buying audience. Imagine that, an audience that's buying from you. So let's bring her up. She's a podcaster and she is great at sports. Who knew? Here she comes.
Hey, thanks so much for having me.
Katie, I'm so glad to have you. I have been hearing buzzing about you on the internet. People have been talking about you. And what I didn't know is you have a podcast about sports, and your friend was saying you got to ask her about sports and do her accents. I'm like, okay, now, wait a minute. I thought she was a strategist.
Yeah, so I come from sports. And that's what I thought my dream job was going to be, was to be a sports reporter. And now that's more of my passion project, and social media is my main gig. But yeah, happy to be here, and thanks so much for the invitation.
Oh, I'm so glad. You're very, very popular in social media. You have a huge following on social media. So I want everybody to really listen to you. Katie, what is your social media following? Only because it matters that I always teach my clients to take advice from people who are where you want to be. So I'm going to let you brag a little bit about the followers, because your followers are also engaged followers, and you've worked hard to build this community. And that's what you teach business owners and solo and entrepreneurs what and how to do. So tell us a little bit about the numbers, and then we're going to get into your brain for a second.
Yeah, so I have about 47,000 followers on Clubhouse, the where you and I met. I'm up to about 47,000 followers there. I have about 5,000 on Instagram and 2,000 on LinkedIn. But a year ago, I actually was just starting my Instagram account, even though I've been in the social media game for a long time. I was making the number one mistake, and I was putting my business last. So I didn't even have a social media account until the beginning of last year, and I'm about 5,000 followers now and growing every day. But I think
You
that
really are.
it's a Clubhouse has been a godsend, and it really was the perfect social platform for me because
Oh, we're losing you. Hold on. Internet. Hold, please. She's frozen. It's okay. It's all good. Don't anybody panic. Katie.
Did I lose you? I'm here.
Yeah, you froze. Hey, no
froze.
problem. We were talking about Clubhouse, and the neat thing, Katie, is
no, I reset my router too before we started.
It's all right. We've only been on Clubhouse just like a year, and I want everybody to hear this. You have 47,000, where most people have 1,000, maybe 500, maybe, I have 7,000, big deal. You've got 47,000 followers in a year on this social audio app. So talk to us a little bit about some tips and strategies, how people grow their business to what you said, to get buying clients. I think she's frozen again. No, don't freeze. This is important.
I know. Can you see me?
I can see you.
Okay.
All right. How do people grow social media to get buying clients?
Yeah, so that's what I teach, is how to take away the overwhelm of social media, because I believe that a lot of entrepreneurs, personal brands, and small businesses are trying to do all the things on social media. And I teach them how to craft the right strategy for their business, how to read their insights and their metrics, and make those connections, those authentic connections with their ideal clients and customers, so that they're actually sending you the DMs. That's really easy to start the conversation and learn how to solve exactly what your your clients' biggest problems are with your social media posts. So that is what I teach is how to take away that overwhelm of social media with as little as 1 hour a week because
It's freezing again.
building our business is not on just on.
You're freezing.
I'm freezing.
It's yeah, the social media, your social media is going out. Your internet is going in and out. That's all right. We'll get it. It's all good. I just want to give everybody hope. It's all good. No problem. Well,
Sorry.
with that, don't worry. It's fine. Can you give us some tips then? Because my clients I know get overwhelmed where if there's one more social media app that opens up, everybody's just going to scream, especially like we'll talk about it with Tima, the women over 40. Again, we just get the hang of Facebook. Then there's Twitter. Then there's LinkedIn. Now there's audio apps. Do we go on Twitter Spaces? Do we go on Clubhouse? Help us with the overwhelm. So if we come to you and we say we want to grow a community, a buying community, in like maybe 1 or 2 tips, can you share with us what we should do? And freezing up again. We will get this interview done. Don't worry. She'll come back. She'll come back. I have faith. Hold on.
I am.
That's You're in
the
the matrix.
Okay.
What we say on Clubhouse, you're in the matrix.
Okay. Oh my God. I know.
That's all right. Well, you know what, Katie? We're going to have you back.
I don't know what is going on with my internet, but I'm so sorry. We just had a giant snowstorm here. Okay.
Where do you live?
Okay. Can you see me?
I can
Am
see
I
you.
still frozen?
No, you're fine.
In Denver, we had a giant snowstorm. I reset the router, and apparently it's still not good enough here. Okay.
Not a problem. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. I will have her back for sure, and we will get through this now. Anyway, so let's see if we can get a tip out of her before she freezes again. Go ahead and we'll rapid fire. Give us some tips, and I'm going to be quiet.
I know. Before I freeze again. Yes. Okay. Okay. So the biggest tip is for not to focus in on all the social media platforms that are out there. I think that's where a lot of businesses get overwhelmed is they're like, "Oh my God, another social media platform." They all exist for a reason. You need to be on the social media platform that makes the most sense for you and your brand that you can stay consistent with. Once you show up consistently on that medium, feel free to add in another social media platform here and there, but I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions is that you need to be on every single social media platform known to mankind. And really, if you're crafting the right strategy and growing your audience and growing your community on one, it's very easy then to then add additional ones that make sense. But a lot of times, you only need to have a presence on maybe 2 or 3 platforms if you want to throw a social audio platform in there. But like you were saying, Aurea, it's definitely a platform that makes the most sense for your business. Choose the one that makes the most sense for your business. Go all in on it. Do it the right way. And that's when you can start adding in more after that.
That's perfect. Yeah, and I've been telling people that I am not a social media expert. I know enough to be dangerous, and I have a presence on all of them because I just make sure I'm up and on all of them and kind of point them in a direction if I'm not using that particular one. So if we pick, 1, then 2, and then maybe max 3 to really dive into, how does somebody know which one that should be? We've heard of analytics like Facebook is good for the women over 40, but if your line or what you're doing is for the young people, you need to be on TikTok. So give us a little bit of your strategy on how to choose that first one to really zone in on. Is there a strategy with that? Okay, hold on. She's frozen. She'll come back. Don't worry. Okay, did you hear the question?
Okay, I'm back.
Okay.
Which one makes the most sense for your business, right?
How do you choose? How does a person choose which one?
Well, it's I really think it's the one that you can be the most consistent on, the one that you can have the most fun on. I mean, it's called social media for a reason. It's always looking at your insights. What are your key demographics? If you're not really comfortable on video, you know what? You probably should not be on TikTok. If you are a B2B business, LinkedIn is a great spot for you to spend your time and you can show up so many different ways there. I think that you really have to look at what you have for your capacity, what you feel comfortable pushing out there, and look at who your ideal client and customer is, see where they typically hang out, and go all in on that platform. Again, I think that Clubhouse, LinkedIn has audio rooms, Facebook has audio rooms. It's a very easy thing to add on to that other, traditional social media platform that you might already be using. If you're on Clubhouse, then Instagram is a great spot because they're
It
so
really is.
closely intertwined.
It truly is. That's so smart. If you're on Clubhouse and it links only to Instagram and Twitter, and now we're starting our Twitter rooms as well. So there's, I like the way it connects those two, which is smart. And I
Yeah,
love Clubhouse. I know there'll always be lots of different audio apps, but because I love talking, and I'd rather be talking than just posting a pretty picture or doing another reel or
me
trying
too.
hello. So it's great for us. So if you're watching or listening and you love to talk and you can sell your service or products when you talk and engage and people gets to know you and the pain you solve, then audio is definitely for you. And also for those people who don't want to get dressed up, put on makeup, or feel like they have to, even though you don't have to anymore, for sure. It's really a nice way to be in your pajamas and be audio and really getting so much done. I call Clubhouse my talking billboard because even when I'm just on a stage and I'm not talking, people can be clicking on my profile and seeing what I do because that's what I'm doing. That's why I got to know you. You were up there and I was clicking on your profile saying, wow, she does this. I was getting to know you. And we hadn't even met yet. So with that,
Well,
what?
and I think that too, if you're not up for speaking, it's a great spot to go for market research. You can go
Yeah,
into rooms where your ideal client and customer are hanging out and listen to the conversation about the questions or struggles that they have. You can hear what they're talking about and make content, make emails, make blog posts exactly solving their problem. So even if you're not a talker, it's a great spot for you just to go for market research.
it really is. You can do surveys, you can talk to people, ask them, and you can just make that the title. What do you think about such and such? Come on in. And especially women, we love to give our opinions. So it is such a great place to get feedback. And so tell us what you do then. So let's say, well, I'll use me an example. I love my Clubhouse. I do my groups on Facebook. I really love Instagram, and I'm present on TikTok, just having some fun with that. If I were to, have a conversation with you, what would you do for somebody like me? Because most of my clients are like me. We're solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, and we have a service to sell. What do you
Yep.
do to help it make it easier for us?
Well, typically the very first thing we do is take a giant step back and really see which platforms are performing the best for you. And then focus in on the one that's performing the best and learn the different ways that you can show up the right way. Instagram, for example, there's 5 different ways to post on it, and everyone
Yeah.
consumes content differently. So you have to be showing up all those different ways for your audience. So a lot of times we'll be crafting reels ideas. We'll be learning about different hashtags that will identify best with your ideal clients, or how to craft a social media.
And
There's
do you do that for your clients, Katie, or are you doing it with them? So is it a done for you process
down
you have,
and
or is
figuring
it
out
done
the
with
best
you?
way for you to show up on all these social. It's a done with you. So we do
Okay.
one-on-one sessions once a month, and then I have unlimited Voxer support. So if you have questions, it's just a Voxer away via voice message or or text message.
I love it. I love it. Do you have a really fun customer success story to tell us? Like they were here, and then a month with you, they were millionaires. No, I'm kidding. But do you have any kind of
Yeah,
fun
no,
story?
yeah, so my client Kim, she and I started working together right before the pandemic, and she had
Mm,
I think 1,300 followers, and she's at 31,000 followers now on Instagram. She's a paid brand ambassador for a number of her products that she's using. Her books are full. She has a team of 5 now, and it all started with Instagram, and that was during the pandemic. She was doing virtual consultations, and it really leveled up her business and we've never spent a single dollar in ads. It's all 100%
no.
organic.
Wow, that's great. I love that story. Super. So you really have helped. I know you have helped people. And why social media? You went from loving sports to getting social media, and social media is ever changing. So I don't know how you keep up with all of it and everything that you do. So why social media for you? What do you love most about it? What's the gratification of it?
So for social media, I've been doing it since MySpace. That's when I really got involved. I was working at the college radio station, and part of the jobs at the radio station were to get bands to send you their music for free. And so I was making all these networking connections with people on MySpace, and
Yeah,
then
I knew
Facebook
that.
opened. I know, right? Tom's first was everybody's first social media friend, and Facebook then opened up to the masses. Then there was Twitter. Then there was Instagram. So all these different social media platforms kept coming out, I just liked to see them, to tinker with them, to see what work, what wouldn't work, and that's, where my love of social media came, but being a social media anything didn't exist, so
Mhm.
that's why I went into radio. I landed my dream job. I was the game reporter for the Colorado Rockies and Denver Broncos here in Denver, and I did that for 3 years, and, I was always doing social media as a side hustle, and, it wasn't until I was laid off from the television station, go all in.
A little bit in the matrix. It's all good. Everybody hang tight. Like I said, we will have her back because we are losing her again. And this happens on Clubhouse too. We go into the
I'm
matrix.
back.
It's all good. We keep going. Hi, darling. Don't worry. We'll get your internet connected, but we'll just have you back on because you really have a hot topic, and I really want people to dig in and not be interrupted because everyone now, you cannot have a business without having good social media strategies. And I say strategies because it's really important that you're not just throwing stuff up there and hoping all the spaghetti sticks. And what you do is vital. So I'm going to give you the last few minutes to tell us. Hopefully the matrix won't come back. If you could talk to us, what would you most want us to know about social media to grow our business and how you could help us do that, or anyone that they hire to do that? But what makes you a little bit different?
So I think that with working with me as I help you embrace your story, that was something that I had a hard time with when I was first starting my social media was what is my story? And all of us have a story. And it might not seem
Mhm.
like it's anything special, but your story is what's going to help other people want to connect with you and do business with you. I've had plenty of times where someone said like, "Oh my gosh, you play softball? I played softball. My daughter plays softball," and it's a way to
It's a way to connect.
embrace your story, showcase it is that you're more. Yes, exactly, and there's more to your business than just the logo. There's more. You are the brand. People wanna do business with people. You have to start showing your face and showing up on social media authentically because that's how you're gonna not just build your following, but build your community that's going to be your number 1 fan. They're gonna know, like, trust you, and wanna support you.
They really do. They say stories sell for sure. So, what is the biggest mistake entrepreneurs are doing with their social media that's stopping them from having this getting the sale? Because you do have to do this soft sale. You have to engage. You have to do 80% letting them get to know, like, and trust you. So, how can they balance that to not forget to offer the sale or offer the deal or make that offer? Because it can get all social and then no profit.
Yeah, so you gotta be social. Yes, yes, you gotta be social, and I think that, if someone leaves you a comment, you know, comment back. It is just as important to leave comments and engage on other people's
Oh, yeah.
posts as it is to create your own content. Be social on social media, start the conversation. Don't just be salesy, really
Mm,
create authentic communications and leave authentic comments. And that's how you're going to build your following. That's how you're going to build your community. Like I said, the biggest mistake I see is so many people creating a post, people will comment on it and it's just crickets. So
yeah.
they're probably not going to comment again. So give them a comment back. And that's a very easy thing to do. And it's an authentic way to build relationships.
And that they said, and I just learned this recently, that once you do a post, maybe you've asked a question in it, maybe you've told a story, let's talk Instagram. You have to watch it for the first hour. You can't leave it there and come back 3 days later and start replying to these comments
Yes.
because of the algorithm. Is that true?
Yeah, so I mean, it's definitely one of those things where I start 10 minutes before, I'll engage with a bunch of posts of comments of past posts, kind of check out my stories, leave some comments and react to different people's stories. Then I'll go in, post my post, and then I'll go into the feed. I'll go into different hashtags, and I'll go leave comments on like 5 like micro accounts of people that are
That's a
in
good
my
idea.
niche, and then 5 larger accounts that are like the Amy Porterfields and some of those
Right.
large accounts. Leave a genuine comment on that, and it's just a way to kind of get your name out there. It's free, free billboard space, like you said before. If you can write a really good comment, other people will see it and be like, "Oh, who's I am
Oh,
Katie Brinkley? I want to see
you're speaking my
this,"
language.
and they'll come and check you out.
I love that. I always tell people get into other people's conversation because then more people will see you. Well, Katie, I know we're out of time right now, but if they want to get a hold of you, I've got up katiebrinkley.com. Is that the best place for them to see everything that you do?
That is the best place. Yeah, so go to katiebrinkley.com, and then I actually have a free guide about how to sell on social. It's katiebrinkley.com/social sales.
Wonderful. Is Next
And that's
Step
my
Social?
website.
Hey, there we go. All right, cool. I got them both up. Next Step Social
Yeah.
Communications, katiebrinkley.com. We're going to have you back. I want to dive in deeper to how they can have conversations on other people's platforms where they can engage with the bigger people in their industry and join the conversations and draw in their community. Katie, thank you so much. I'm sorry you ended up in the Matrix a couple times, but we will redo this. katiebrinkley.com. Get to know her. She is worth it. And
Yes.
you've got some great downloads. Real quick, what's that download people can get for free? Because I was looking at it before we started.
Yeah, it's katiebrinkley.com/social sales. And yes, please, I'd love to come back on when I'm at my office
We will. We will. You get a great social media
instead of being
booklet.
stuck at home with a snowstorm.
All right, no more snowstorms. All right, when the sun comes back out, we'll come back on. Katie, thank you so much. We appreciate you coming on. Get celebritized. Have a great rest of your night. Stay warm. Bye. KatieBrinkley.com. Check her out. She is the real deal. She's amazing. And she gets rave reviews all over on Clubhouse. She is so well known. That's why I had to invite her onto the show. And I promise you, I will have her back soon. She'll get her internet back up, get snowstorm melted, and she'll come back on and we'll dive in for a good, we'll get her on for 30 minutes to talk about it. And what I'll even do is have you guys ask me some questions in advance, what you want to know about growing your social media. And we'll do Ask the Expert, and we'll have Katie Brinkley back as our panelist to ask. All right. Well, now we're going to go to part 2. Are you ready? Here we go. All right. Welcome back to Get Celebritized. Now I have for you a wonderful professional actress, a woman who teaches people how to be a TV show host, and she has her own TV show studio here in the Alpharetta area near Atlanta. She's a media coach with 20 years experience in TV and film. She's worked with some of today's brightest talents and continues to grow her TV hosting academy brand with ongoing workshops, online courses, private coaching, and a new makeup and skincare line called, you ready? Camera Ready Collection. Nicole, come on down.
Hello, Aurea. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, I'm so glad to have you on. Not only are you my guest tonight, Nicole, you and I have been friends for a while now. We met before the pandemic, and it's funny, we're on Clubhouse now so much of the time, people that I've never met or hugged. So it's kind of a running joke that I tell people, oh, this person I've actually met and hugged. You know,
Yes.
We've seen each other flesh and blood.
Pre-pandemic, we were all hugs. Yes, I miss it. I miss those days.
I do too. But you've pivoted very well. I know I used to see you on The Resident, which is one of my favorite TV shows here. You've done a lot of the acting here in the area, and it really got derailed, and things changed, and then it came back up, and now we got the vaccine rules and all that. So you really had to pivot, and you're doing it beautifully. So before we get into a little bit more about you, in a nutshell, people want to know, what is your biggest pivot you had to do? And give us some success stories real quick.
Oh my gosh, I've been pivoting my entire life, Aurea. I started out at MTV many years ago. I'm not even going to say how long ago. It was after I graduated college, but I started in production. So I was behind the scenes. I was there for about 3 years. And I got laid off. I was one of like 400 people that got laid off from Viacom. I was heartbroken. I was devastated. I needed to figure out what I was going to do next. Had no idea. I knew I wanted to do something on TV or, with production, but I wasn't exactly sure. I always had an interest in reporting and journalism. So when I was laid off, I was collecting unemployment. I said, now would be kind of a good time to figure this out and maybe take some classes. So I took a broadcast journalism course on Long Island, New York, where I'm from. And it was a 6-week hands-on broadcast journalism course, but I was out in the field. I was out with all the #1 news market reporters and anchors. I was out there in the field, reporting the news. It was crazy. I was just thrown in. And I feel like that's how you learn the best, trial by fire. So as I was reporting for years and years, I just kept rising up the ranks. I was general assignment reporter. Then I was weekend anchor. Then I said, you know what? After about 10 years of this, let's try something new. I started hosting. So I was kind of getting burnt out from the news, and I wanted something a little bit different. So I got into hosting. And as I started getting more hosting jobs, I realized this is fun. Like, this is amazing. This is, yeah, like this is a job, like talking to people and asking questions. I've been asking questions since I was 4. So it was kind of a natural so it was a natural transition for me to get into hosting. And as I was hosting, I was also auditioning for acting jobs because I was a child actor. I was doing commercials, and I was on set at a very young age. So I felt comfortable on set. Yeah, my dad was in production as well. So my first TV set, like walking onto my first set, I was probably about 10. And so I was got back into acting, and it just kind of grew from there. I just kept training and taking background actor work, because that's how you learn. You learn how things work. And when I talk to a lot of my clients, a lot of them get a bit frustrated because things take so long. And I said, well, it's a journey. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon, and you guys have to be consistent, but also you're learning, and you have to enjoy that journey, because there's so much to really embrace and learn and enjoy. And you meet so many amazing people along the way. Yeah.
So you were going to be an actress, and I saw you on The Resident. It was so fun. I saw you on this medical TV show that I absolutely love, and you're playing a news anchor. I'm like, that is so fitting.
That was my in, Aurea. I had to slide in there somehow. I said, I can prove myself. Let me just get on there. And yes, and it's funny because the first background actor role that I had, I was just background. I didn't have any lines at all. And when we were on set it was a Lee Daniels movie called Precious. And I was a red carpet reporter, and Lee Daniels comes on set, and he says, I'm you over there, and you. And he called about 5 of us over. And he said, I'm going to give one of you lines. And we're all auditioning on the spot in front of like 200 extras. And he's given us lines to say, and I got it. So I was bumped up to a principal role. So it's like, you cannot be shy. You just have to go for it and have fun.
I love that. And so now you're there, and that's your passion. And the pandemic hits, and now everything gets shut down. What do you do? Because there's so many people on this show really caters to entrepreneurs, especially women in business. And so many of them either lost their job or they didn't know how to pivot. And they're like, what do you do now when, doesn't matter what the career was, but it isn't there anymore? What did you do? And who helped you to pivot after 2021 came and is still kind of lingering?
Yeah, it was that, I think, was probably the most devastating blow that I had to endure, because I was on such a roll in 2019 with my acting roles. I was working all the time, and like being a working actor, it's like you struck gold. It's like all these years you trained for it, and you're working and you're auditioning and you're booking. And then all of a sudden it was December of 2019. I was in Los Angeles, and I was just wrapping up a Clint Eastwood film. And that was the last big hurrah before I flew back home, and it was like the world shut down. I was at such a high.
Wait a minute. You just can't breeze over. I was working with Clint Eastwood. We were having lunch, and then the pandemic hit. I love that.
Yes, I was.
Tell about Clint Eastwood.
Okay, first of all, he's just so cool. And I mean, in his 90s, but so super cool.
Is
and
he
I was working
already?
on. Yes. And I was working on Richard Jewell, his film. And I had a small role. I was in a couple different scenes, but on set with with Clint Eastwood, couple days, it was great. And, I met so many amazing people, but just being in his presence, I was like, he's just such an icon. And so it was a great experience. Yes. I worked with Clint Eastwood. I was literally on cloud 9, and then the pandemic hit.
God.
And everything shut down. And I said, well, now what do I do? Because my studio shut down, production shut down. I'm not acting anymore. What am I going to do? I can't do workshops anymore in person. So I found a course creation coach. And I knew I wanted to take my lessons online, but had no idea how to do it. I said, everyone's doing online courses. How do I make this different? How am I unique? How do I stand out? So I just dove into course creation. I dove into learning about what my clients and my demographic and my ideal client wants? What are their pain points? How do I serve them? How do I solve their problem? I was like an investigative journalist before I really created what I created, because you could make all the courses that you want, but if you're not solving a problem, then it's not gonna do anything. And if you're not focused on transformation, no one's going to be interested in your course. They're like flooded with information. It's, all over the internet. They want transformation. So that's what I really focused on.
And plus they want, and this is what I preach to all my clients constantly, like for the last 20 years, take advice from people who are where you want to be, who are excelling in that arena. And you already had all that experience. So now what I'm hearing is you hired the right person that could help you create that program, because you knew you were the one that was going to be the face of it all, the teacher of it all. But how do you create the nuts and bolts? And that's what hangs up a lot of people. What is an online course? I mean, how do you start a landing page? How do you plug in all those things?
So many details. So many details.
So
and it wasn't just I want to be transparent. It is still growing, and I'm still refining, because I'm still learning about my ideal client and what they want. So although I started with the online courses, I really focus now on building my community and how to serve them better. So a lot of my clients, they love the online courses, but they really wanted that online support. They wanted that small group coaching. They wanted to access to me, even if it's once or twice a month. So I added a membership, and that was really, really helpful for me, because I was able to serve them in a better way. I also brought in guest instructors who are specialists in each niche and area that we cover in TV Hosting Academy. So I have an expert in entertainment reporting. I have an expert in home shopping. I have an expert in live hosting or in live streaming and content creation. So I brought a whole community together of experts. It's not just me. I mean, TV Hosting Academy is so much bigger than me.
Now, wait a minute. You have somebody who is expert in home shopping. I'm an expert in shopping at home. What do you need to
do? Same, but hosting live shopping.
I love it. Yes. Oh, you're pivoting really well. And I like what you said. All right, you're doing some of the things, again, I've been talking about just these past couple of weeks: collaborating, partnering, bringing people in. There's room at the top for everyone. And if we all work together and do this, it makes such a big difference. You can grow faster. And I love that you said it's fluid. We never do arrive. We get better and better. And what people want this year, they're going to want something else next year anyway. But once you have the track to run on and you have the formula for success, it's just plugging in different pieces of the train. But the train's already solidly on the track. You know how to get where you need to go, and you can add just more pieces to get the little caboose and all just runs nice. But it's all about people. So if you can give us some advice on this pivot, what really served you the best? And what would you tell people that are still trying to pivot and get that right train on the right track going to cash flow?
I work with so many people who are in that transition period where they're coming out of either their 9 to 5, or they've been laid off from their job, or they're looking to just do something completely different. And I always bring them back to my 3 C's: clarity, confidence, and connections. Clarity, number one, you need to be clear on what your end goal is, or what the lifestyle that you want is. You may think you want to work for NBC News or Fox News or CNN, but you have to really understand what that lifestyle is like. You have to understand what you're sacrificing, or if that's the life that you want, now you know what path you have to take. Right? So always be clear on what your end goal is. And I work backwards. Let's find out where you want to be in the end and work backwards. Let's strategize and create that path to that end goal. And there might be 3 goals, 4 goals, whatever it is, but we need to be clear on that. 2 is confidence. You need to be confident in who you are, your authentic self, what you're bringing to the table, your uniqueness, your story. You have to be able to be confident in your own skin. And I think a lot of hosts struggle with that because they're trying to be this picture perfect spokesperson, or a host that they think they should become. Traditional hosting is over. That stoic E-News persona is gone, and everyone wants to connect with you as a person. And that last C is connections. You need to be constantly making connections, collaborating, networking. And networking takes so many different shapes now. It's social media.
It's social media.
Right. And it's not just social media, it's connecting in all different ways. So Clubhouse is a great example. Even in person, let's just go grab coffee. And I heard someone say such a great line. It's like, it's making those deposits into that emotional bank. You don't want to take from people if you're not giving to people, right? So you always have to come from a place of service and giving some sort of value and helping people. And I always found that when I start to pour into other people, they pour back into me, and we all start to help each other grow. So those connections are really, really important.
It makes such sense. And I always say, be a friend before you want to have friends. So if you're a good friend, then you will have good friends. And not everybody we pour into, do they pour back into us, and vice versa. So it is that ongoing, what goes around comes around. So I may be pouring into one person today, but that's not the one that can pour back into me. Somebody else then pours into me, and those blessings come, and those opportunities, because we're freely giving in other arenas, that it's just a big pool of again, what goes around comes around, I should say. And I can't wait to get back out on a more regular basis, doing lunches and brunches and coffees. But meanwhile, thank God for Zoom. Thank God for Zoom.
Yes.
And thank God for all this social media that we have, and just get good at it. And I love what my guest earlier was saying, Katie, to find your space, find what you love to do. Stop trying to be great at all the stuff you're maybe not good at yet. It's okay. Find what you are good at, because we're all good at something. If you love to write, LinkedIn is a great place, or blogging. I will never blog. Don't ever ask me, but I will do a live interview every day of the week. So find your jam, and then just hone in on it, and you will find your tribes. So in closing, Nicole, where are you going now? What is in store for Nicole Sellars for 2022?
Oh my gosh, 2022 is bright, and I'm manifesting it now. I'm telling you right now, TV Hosting Academy is going to blow up to double, triple digits. I feel it coming. We have our in-person workshops coming back, online courses. I even have media trainings. I have media training done for you services now. We have media kits and media pitching. So that's going to be incredible. And something that's in the Atlanta area that's going to be really cool is our branding events that we're going to have once a month. We're going to welcome in experts, authors, business people, anyone who wants to come in, and they get a branding photo shoot. They get a sit-down interview, videotaped, interviewed by yours truly, and you're going to be able to use that for all of your branding purposes, and behind the scenes photos. So whoever wants to come into our studio, we're located in Alpharetta, and I always say, yes, absolutely. 1 month's worth of content in an hour. So come on. It's going to be once a month that we're starting that. And Camera Ready Collection is something that has been new and exciting. It was something that I've been wanting to do for a really long time. So makeup and skincare, it's vegan, cruelty-free, paraben-free, and it looks amazing on camera. It does not wear and, does not shine.
You have it on now?
So I do. Yes, I do.
Beautiful.
I use everything.
Oh,
Thank
you're just gorgeous. I can't imagine you not. No, I'm sorry. I don't wear my own product. I'm like, you look beautiful. I'm like, hope you had it on.
I feel like I'm putting myself in the poorhouse. I'm buying all my stuff because I'm like, I want to try everything. I've been trying the scrubs and the makeup and the lipstick and the liquid lipstick and everything. Yeah.
Well, Nicole, if you need another guinea pig, you can go ahead and send me some, and I will start using it too, and be your best spokesperson. Let me ask you the last question. So in this, I have to tell everybody, I've been to her studio. We only live one city apart, like 15 minutes away. I've been there. It's beautiful. We're going to do some of this stuff together. I will be at a lot of this because we're partnering and collaborating, which is what we just talked about we should do. Do you do anything with podcasting at your studio?
We do. We do have a podcast area that we are just building right now. And Aurea is even going to come in and teach a class. I cannot wait. All on podcasting. So again, bringing in the experts who are doing it every single day, who are experts in their field, because I'm one person. I'm not an expert in everything. And it's great to bring in the experts that have their boots on the ground and they're doing it every day. And they are the ones teaching these workshops, which is so incredibly helpful.
Nicole, you've been wonderful. I hope everybody goes to tvhostingacademy.com. Write that one down, tvhostingacademy.com. Look at everything she has to offer. become a member if you can. You'll stay in the loop. And if you need a studio or a podcast studio or some training or just some networking, get with her. I'm here in this area as well, so maybe you'll be meeting me too. So excited for this, Nicole. I'm so glad we reconnected. It's been a long 2 years being away from these people that we love, and you're one of those people that I love. And I was just getting to know you when we all got shut down. So it's so glad to be back in your life again. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yay, Nicole Sellars. Wonderful. TVHostingAcademy.com. Don't forget that website. Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you.
All righty. I told you this is a jam-packed show. We've got girl power tonight. Now, after that wonderful, wonderful interview, learning how to get back out there, get into, we started with social media, went on to the TV hosting, got a theme going here. Now, what if you're thinking, I'm too old for this? I can't pivot one more time. I am over 40, but I'm not dead yet. My next guest has got your number, so don't worry. Here we go. Nia Dowdy is the creator and host of We're Not Dead Yet, about women over 40 achieving their greatest accomplishments and milestones. And what I've always said is you're only just getting started at 40. So let me bring her up in all her glory and beauty. Nia, welcome to Get Celebritized.
Thanks for having me, Aurea.
Oh my gosh, I am so glad to meet you. What you do is so much fun and so needed, because I always tell one of my stories is I didn't even win my Emmy Award until I was 48 years old. And it was a little girl dream I had, from 5, 6 years old. And it took that long before all the tables turned and everything went the right way. And it came about in a completely different way than I thought. But that's another story for another time. But the point was, my whole life really took the biggest turn when I turned 40. So talk to us about what you do in your community of women over 40, because it's powerful.
Thank you. Yeah. So I had this crazy idea just 4 months ago. Well, I had the idea a little bit longer than that, but I launched the channel 4 months ago. I thought, I was looking around and I saw these women who were not only over 40, but over 50 and 60 and just crushing it. Gone back into the workforce and was now a CEO, or, discovering that she'd never painted before, never been artistic, and picking up a paintbrush, and now she's a professional artist. And it wasn't like I was sitting around eating bonbons. I mean, I had stuff to do. I was
you were drinking Patron. I saw the picture.
Well, that does happen. But I was a stay-at-home mom. I built this theater that I'm sitting in myself from studs.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You
it took
it yourself?
8 or 9 months, but so I wasn't like, doing nothing. But I was thinking, is there more? I mean, I was at the time 54, 55. Is there something bigger I should be doing? Am I called for something else like these women? And the more I gave it thought, I thought, what if there was a YouTube channel that highlighted these women that I know, and I'm sure there are many more out there, who are inspiring, because they're not just saying, "Oh, the kids are gone. I'm just gonna,
a ball.
I'm just gonna go on, binge watch some TV shows and I'll be all right." Not that want to do that. That's fine. But, they found that they had more to give, more to do. And I said, what if there was a channel? And, that was terrifying. I had done some, media training. I have a journalism degree. I mean, not me personally. I had trained other executives in media training, but I sat there and said, I've never been in front of the camera. What if I suck?
I know a TV hosting academy you can be a part of.
So, there were so many unknowns. YouTubing is for 20-year-olds, right? So I was very terrified, but I took one step at a time and booked the first interview, and it was great. And then one woman led to another woman, and now I can barely keep up with the women that God is placing in my orbit whose stories need to be told.
I love it. What's the name of your YouTube channel?
Mine, We Are Not Dead Yet.
I love that. So find her. We're Not Dead Yet. I made you a little bit.ly link here too, which is We're Not Dead Yet.
Except it says Wary Not Dead Yet.
We
It's a
are
little
not.
typo.
Is that work?
Not
We are not.
It's We're, W-E-R-E. We're.
We're not. We are not dead yet. Okay, so we're not dead yet. Oh, it wouldn't let me do the apostrophe.
The tagline: We're not dead yet. Women rocking their next chapter.
I love that. I love that. And you know, and we were talking about my story too, because I started my Live Your Legacy Summit. I started my TV show all after 40. And I did what you did. You know, although I had the TV acting experience, I had never produced my own show. And I wanted to tell good stories about good people, which at that moment I thought, you know, we're nonprofit people. There's a lot of great stories not being told. And I chose the nonprofit stories. And I did 22 episodes in 1 year. I started with one person, just like you did. And then in a year later, I won an Emmy Award for it. I didn't even know that was possible when I started. I was like you, felt the fear and did anyway, and just said, let's give it a whirl. Why not? And I think we're a little braver once we hit 40 anyway, because we've been through some stuff. I'm like, you know, what have I got to lose? So talk to the women over 40 and 50, and now I'm 60, and I'm proud of it, and let's keep on going. What do you want to tell us about life and what we should, you know, can be doing and what could be in the next chapters?
Yeah. So I'm learning so much from the women that I interview. Fail forward is a big theme common with many of the women that I interview, where they, you know, had an idea, made a ton of mistakes.
Oh, yeah.
One woman that was a model turned photographer turned talent agent says she fired herself many times, but nobody listened.
That's what I say to my clients. Would you fire yourself today? Did you work at all?
Yeah. So you're gonna, if you're not learning, then you're gonna make mistakes. If you're learning and growing, you're making mistakes, but you learn from them and you keep going anyway. That's a common theme. Another common theme is just do it. One woman that I interviewed was a like corporate executive, and she binge watched HGTV like so many of us, and dreamed of flipping houses, but was comfortable in her life, right, in her identity as a career woman and in her income, until that was suddenly taken away from her. And she said, well, gee, I have no security anymore. I may as well give this a try.
Funny when you have nothing to lose, right?
Right. So she did. And you know, she tells other women, just do it. Quit dreaming about it. Just do it.
Did she start flipping houses?
Oh, she does full time now.
Wow.
She has 3 going at any given time. She has a full on business. It's fabulous.
Well, let me ask you this, because in this show, I like to dig into a little bit of nuts and bolts, because people give, you know, on other shows, they give, you know, the stories, which are great. But talk to us a little bit. Okay, you're in this life, you're comfortable. Now you have to pivot. Now she wanted to go into flipping houses. We need to know what was her first step? Like, okay, I want to do this. Well, what do I do? Well, I was talking to another guest, Nicole, and she was saying when she needed to flip, she hired a coach that was able to help her build online courses. So her first step was hiring a coach that show her how to do the nuts and bolts of building out the course, making it a landing page so people could actually pay her for this. So what her first step was to say, okay, I want to go flip real estate. What do you do if you don't know how?
Well, she said she did it badly. She bought a house, flipped it. It took far too long. She made all the mistakes.
Okay.
And luckily, by the grace of God, she made some money anyway, but she learned all of the things that she did wrong to begin doing it again. Actually, most of the women I've interviewed now in 4 months, maybe 15 or so women. I try to do one a week. And most of them did not have any big investment starting out or hiring anybody. They worked with what they had. In fact, the now talent agent, she advice to women is give it away. I thought that was great. So when she was a model, And she got a camera when she had kids and started loving taking pictures of children and wanted to do more of it. So she volunteered to take photos of friends' kids. She volunteered at church to take photos of the baptism, and she gave it away until suddenly people were asking her and paying her to take photos, which then led to agents, because she was a model, asking
Right.
her to find them talent, which led to her own agency. So very few, she will tell you, I wasn't sitting around with a nest egg going, well, what am I going to do with it? She just, and so her advice is, if you have a passion, just give it away. Whatever it is, if you're worried about the money at the outset, you will never do it. But if you just start taking steps, the money will come. And I thought that was fantastic advice. I didn't spend a dime to start this project. I borrowed a camera. I borrowed some lights. I do the filming myself, or sometimes my very overpriced husband cameraman comes to film me. It's all DIY. I taught myself how to edit video.
Right.
And so far, most of the women, for me, and I'd like to disprove that theory, because that is an obstacle women think they have. Oh, well, I don't have enough money, or well, I'll have to get an investor, or
Right.
or I'll have to pay somebody to help me. And it's not true. It's
Right.
not true. And there are mentors out there.
Yeah.
You don't need to, look, we have social media, right?
You can get lots of stuff for
And
free.
I have
You can learn how to do brain surgery on YouTube for free.
Absolutely.
And then when you make your money, you can invest in the next level coach, because eventually you'll need somebody who can take you to the next level. They can take you to making 6 figures, or from 6 figures to, $1 million or whatever, then that'll come. But I love what you're saying, grassroots, just get started, because then you'll make some money, get moving. And you say something I say as well. When you say give it away, I've always told people, go volunteer. If you wanted to work at a TV studio, go volunteer, be an intern. Or if you want to, learn how to sail, go volunteer, at the docks. Do what you love to do as a volunteer. You can also go to SCORE and get some free mentorship, or go to YouTube, learn what you need, learn the nuts and bolts. It'll take longer that way for sure, but at least you're getting it done and you're moving forward. You're not sitting around saying, I just can't get started because I have no money.
Yes.
You can start with no money and then get the ball rolling until you have some money to invest in it.
I interviewed a woman who owns a pie company now.
A pie?
Eating pie.
Yeah. Okay, you had me a pie.
She loved to make pie, and that was her love language. She would give pies to people for the birthday, or,
You love me.
I know. And she took a pie to a friend for his birthday. The friend happens to own a restaurant, and he said, I could sell this pie. She was like, no, you can't sell that pie. Well, he did. So she baked 4 more and took them to him. So she started doing pop-up shops and, little shows where she sold her pies, working out of her suburban kitchen. She doesn't even have a double oven, one oven.
One at a time. Oh my God.
And within a year, she had made 3,000 pies. And had a full-time job at the same time. So yeah,
I love it. I love stories like that. I cannot wait to get on the YouTube channel, really dig in to We're Not Dead Yet on YouTube. Y'all have got to go over there. So let me ask you this as in closing. What is going forward in 2022 for you? What is your goals? Where are you going to be? And if people are listening to this, how can they ask you if they can be on your show?
Oh, absolutely. Well, first, my Instagram is @yetwe're, just WERE, not dead. You can always find me there. And then the link to my YouTube channel is there for your convenience. But yeah, get in touch with me. Right now, I don't make any money. I'm only 4 months old. I'm growing. I'm not monetized yet. I don't have any sponsors. So I can't travel the globe to do it. And my interviews, you will see, they're not like podcasts or Zoom. I like to go in the person's environment. I baked pie with the pie baker. I paint.
I miss doing that. I love that you do that. That's great.
So they have to be sort of regional, and I'm in the Atlanta area right now. But yes, I love all of the stories. And then you can just help me grow my audience. Tell women that you think need to be inspired or want to be inspired about my channel. And then eventually it'll get, my goal for 2022 for me is to get monetized so that I can hire some help.
Absolutely. Well, you were going to do it because you're telling all these stories about other great women that have done it. You were going to do this. You're just brand new, 4 months old. I remember where I was at 4 months old when I started my television show. And I was just where you are, in the crux of it, having high school guys doing my cameras, so high school camera teachers doing it. I was doing it at our Coming Playhouse. They didn't charge me. It was all still grassroots. But it's right towards the end of my first year where I went to a fundraiser, met the next person. It was like a divine connection. And from meeting that man who I knew from Florida, we connected and he took me under his wing for the next show that won me the Emmy. And it was one of those things I could have never planned, but it happened because, like you, just start doing and the right people will come your way. Say, I have this for you. I want to help you with that. Or I have the investor for you, whatever is your next step. So good for you. I'm so excited for what you're doing. I cannot wait to meet you.
I met you.
Yeah, I'm so glad we met and we're local. I completely forgot that when we came on. I'm like, oh, I love your studio. I want to watch a movie with you. I'm like, well, I'm right here in East Cobb. I'm like, oh, yay.
Oh, you can just come right over. We can binge watch anything you want to watch.
It's award season. It's Olympic season. So I'm knocking on your door with the popcorn.
Yes. You can wear our evening gowns and, watch the award shows.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Well, in the last minute, what would you like to say to women over 40 to inspire them that they're not dead yet?
You know what? Your dreams are not done. One of the women I interviewed had this great phrase. She said, I was sitting around and I was 54 and I was thinking, I have this whole life ahead of me. What am I going to do with it? And that just struck me, right? You're either a half full or a half empty glass person. Well, you're a half done or half ahead of you life person. Ooh, and you have half your life ahead of you. Just take the first step. And if you're not surrounded by women who are telling you to do it and encouraging you, guess what? I met some of my most supportive, encouraging, driving friends within the last 4 months of taking the first step. So you just never know. And never did I dream that at 55, my tribe could still expand exponentially. So we have it all before us.
Yeah, and you look great. You sound great. So much energy. You're doing such great things. You're a walking testament to all of us to keep on going, have new ideas at 55 and at 50 and at 60 and at 70. And I just love I love Betty White. And she was 99 years old, hugging grizzly bears. I mean, that's what I want to do. And she was doing more sitcoms when in her 80s, and then than most people do in their lifetime. So keep on going. You're not, and I love the name of it. We're not dead yet. Go to YouTube.
We're not dead yet.
We're not. I love it. We're not dead yet. Go to YouTube. I'm going to go over there because I'm not dead yet. And I'm over 40, over 50. And oh my gosh, one more year, I'll be over 60. Oh, I love that. I love it. And it's fun when we get older. We don't care anymore about so many things that we cared about when we were younger. And it's so freeing. And we really can do our best work. So glad you're here. So glad you're on Get Celebritized.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for
and I want to get celebritized.
Yeah, you're going to get celebritized. We're going to talk, and I'm going to come over and do your show, and we're going to get you upscale and scaling, and you're going to be going all around the country telling women's stories.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad we got to meet each other.
I am too. Y'all have a great night, and thank you for tuning in to Get Celebritized. Until next time, this is Aurea saying, earn more so you can live more, so you can give back more. People need you to be successful. So go out there and, like Tima just said, just do it. Have a good one, guys. Till next time. Bye for now.